One of the things that we're committed to as chapter directors of Reasonable Faith is not only providing you with good answers to the questions that people have about God and His existence, but also equipping you to share those good answers with your friends and family. In this episode of 5 Good Reasons Why God Exists, we're looking at the argument from free will and rationality and how that points to God's existence. I'm Carrie Decker, your host. We'll be right back. This whole question of free will and rationality and how all of that relates to God is an important question for us to consider, and I think it's a powerful evidence for God's existence. So I have a slide deck here that I'd like to walk you through. We're talking here about God, free will, and rationality, and the surprising implications of belief in God. It was John Lennon who wrote, "Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us, only sky." So let's do it. Let's imagine. What are the implications if the sky is all that's above us? Well, if the sky is all that is above us, then the only causes of all that happens are natural causes. There's no God or spiritual realities to cause anything. Nature is all that there is. So this means that every galaxy that forms, every star that shines, every creature swimming in the seas, flying in the sky, and walking on the earth came about only by natural processes. Additionally, the thoughts that we have, the choices that we make, and the loves that we feel are caused solely by the physical forces at work in nature. Why? Because the sky is all that's above us. There is no other explanation than the natural one. Stephen Hawking, the noted cosmologist and astrophysicist, he understood this. In his book, The Grand Design, he writes, "It is hard to imagine how free will can operate if our behavior is determined by physical law. So it seems that we are no more than biological machines and that free will is just an illusion." Richard Dawkins, who's a famous atheist and biologist, evolutionary biologist, he says this in a YouTube video. You can look it up for yourself there. He says, "When I think I have free will, I'm deluding myself. My brain states are determined by physical events." Sam Harris, who is also an atheist and neurologist, he says this, "Free will is an illusion. Our wills are simply not of our own making. Thoughts and intentions emerge from background causes of which we are unaware and over which we exert no conscious control. We do not have the freedom we think we have." So if this view is true, then all of our thoughts, all of our choices, and all of our loves are nothing more than chemical and physical forces at work in our brains. Those who love their children, those who abuse them, and those who develop cures for a child's disease are just doing what their biology is driving them to do. Their ideas, choices, and loves are all totally determined naturally. So when you look at the wide variation amongst people, you see that it's just variations in brain chemistry. The compassion of Mother Teresa and the crimes of Ted Bundy were all driven by their respective brain chemistry. She is not to be praised for what she has no control over, nor he condemned. They did exactly what their brain chemistry dictated. It gets even weirder, if that's possible, when people deny that free will exists. They cannot hold this belief freely as a result of rational reflection. Their thoughts are driven by brain chemistry too. If their position isn't rational, then why accept it as being true? They may argue that it's rational, but we can dismiss their assertions as being products of their brain chemistry too. That's weird, isn't it? I like what Greg Koukl says. The problem with determinism is that without freedom, rationality would have no room to operate. Arguments would not matter since no one would be able to base beliefs on adequate reasons. One can never judge between a good idea and a bad one. One would only hold beliefs because he had been predetermined to do so. One objection that people like to raise at this point is, well, what about brain trauma? Well, imagine a talented musician playing a song on a piano with broken keys. While the music sounds one way in his head, it sounds completely different to his audience. The brain is the instrument through which the soul expresses itself, and when the brain is injured, the soul's expression is impaired. J.P. Moreland writes this: neuroscience shows correlation between mind and brain, not that mind and brain are identical. When you imagine a world where the sky is all that's above us, you lose a way to explain your thoughts and choices as being free and rational, and such a world is unimaginably undesirable. Genesis 1:27 says, "So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God he created them. Male and female he created them." Christian theism promotes human freedom and dignity. You know, we've provided plenty of resources for you to be able to make these arguments to your friends and family. They're downloadable for free. You can download this AV presentation as well as PowerPoint and PDFs and an infographic, all there for you so that you can become better equipped with an answer when people ask you to give the reason for the hope that you have. You know, I'm really excited about this conference of 5 good reasons why God exists, and there's plenty of great content, not only in these training sessions, but also in the various presentations that you'll find at this event. I hope that you keep watching. I'm Kerry Decker. I'll see you next time.